There is no greater folly in the world than for a man to despair. Pray look better, sir. Those things yonder are no giants, but windmills. Jests that give pains are no jests. Thou hast seen nothing yet. Laziness never arrived at the attainment of a good wish. Our greatest foes, and whom we must chiefly combat, are within. Love and war are the same thing, and stratagems and policy are as allowable in the one as in the other. That which costs little is less valued. Drink moderately, for drunkenness neither keeps a secret, nor observes a promise. Tell me thy company, and I'll tell thee what thou art. Truth may be stretched, but cannot be broken, and always gets above falsehood, as does oil above water. Proverbs are short sentences drawn from long experience. Man appoints, and God disappoints. God bears with the wicked, but not forever. The gratification of wealth is not found in mere possession or in lavish expenditure, but in its wise application. Those who play with cats must expect to be scratched. A closed mouth catches no flies. Delay always breeds danger, and to protract a great design is often to ruin it. Fear has many eyes and can see things underground. Never stand begging for that which you have the power to earn. Forearmed. To be prepared is half the victory. The knowledge of yourself will preserve you from vanity. Truth will rise above falsehood as oil above water. He who loses wealth loses much. He who loses a friend loses more. But he that loses his courage loses all. One man scorned and covered with scars still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable stars. And the world will be better for this. The eyes, those silent tongues of love. Diligence is the mother of good fortune, and idleness, its opposite, never brought a man to the goal of any of his best wishes. Our hours in love have wings, in absence, crutches. In order to attain the impossible, one must attempt the absurd. Too much sanity may be madness, and the maddest of all, to see life as it is, and not as it should be. To be prepared is half the victory. Every man is as heaven made him, and sometimes a great deal worse. I have always heard, Sancho, that doing good to base fellows is like throwing water into the sea. No fathers or mothers think their own children ugly. Modesty. Is a virtue not often found among poets, for almost every one of them thinks himself the greatest in the world. Well, there's a remedy for all things but death, which will be sure to lay us flat one time or other. There is also this benefit in brag, that the speaker is unconsciously expressing his own ideal. Humor him by all means, draw it all out, and hold him to it. T.I.'s ill talking of halters in the house of a man that was hanged. Good actions ennoble us, and we are the sons of our deeds. Truth indeed rather alleviates than hurts, and will always bear up against falsehood, as oil does above water. Is the only comfort of the miserable to have partners in their woes. Virtue is the truest nobility, liberty, as well as honor. Man ought to preserve at the hazard of his life, for without it life is insupportable. A private sin is not so prejudicial in this world as a public indecency. The most difficult character in comedy is that of the fool, and he must be no simpleton that plays that part. That's the nature of women, not to love when we love them, and to love when we love them not. He had a face like a blessing. The bow cannot always stand bent, nor can human frailty subsist without some lawful recreation. There is no taking trout with dry breeches. Time ripens all things. No man is born wise. It seldom happens that any felicity comes so pure as not to be tempered and allayed by some mixture of sorrow. Every man is the son of his own works. There are only two families in the world, my old grandmother used to say, the haves and the have-nots. From reading too much and sleeping too little, His brain dried up on him, and he lost his judgment. I believe there is no proverb but what is true. They are all so many sentences and maxims drawn from experience. The universal mother of sciences, fair and softly goes far. To withdraw is not to run away, and to stay is no wise action, when there's more reason to fear than to hope. Valor lies just halfway between rashness and cowardice.
One of the most considerable advantages the great have over their inferiors is to have servants as good as themselves. And no padlocks, bolts, or bars can secure a maiden better than her own reserve.
He preaches well that lives well. Be a terror to the butchers, that they may be fair in their weight, and keep hucksters and fraudulent dealers in awe, for the same reason. For a man to attain to an eminent degree in learning costs in time, watching, hunger, nakedness, dizziness in the head, weakness in the stomach, and other inconveniences. A person dishonored is worse than dead. 'Tis a dainty thing to command, though 'twere but a flock of sheep, alas. All music jars when the soul's out of tune. I do not say a proverb is amiss when aptly and reasonably applied, but to be forever discharging them, right or wrong, hit or miss, renders conversation insipid and vulgar. True valor lies between cowardice and rashness. A proverb is a short sentence based on long experience. It is one thing to praise discipline, and another to submit to it. There is nothing so subject to the inconstancy of fortune as war. When thou art at Rome, do as they do at Rome.